One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened for nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. I'm not bag of leg chasing. Hey, hey.
One ecosystem. Brother Noel, give us your normal invite, your normal welcome.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, Caribbean. Donna, are you hearing me?
Yes, I am. Very clear.
Right. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, Caribbean, and good evening, world. This is the show Beyond 2021. It's June the 22nd, 2020. It's a beautiful weather. The side of Trinidad where I am from, in Arima, it's beautiful. And I believe it is beautiful throughout the nation right now. This show Beyond 2021, this is the season 4, and it is the 27th edition. We welcome you one and all wherever you are in the world. We're going to have an engaging discussion this evening. This is the show where we get into the emerging technology. We're talking about blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, the metaverse, you know, the whole cyber space, the cyber world, how we can benefit, how we can position ourselves, how we can gain that education that will empower ourselves and help our family and take our nation, take our societies, take our world forward to make it a better place as much as possible, as much as we can. We have with us in studio my co-host, Mrs. Donna Samlal Singh, and her husband, Mr. Cliff Samlal Singh. Welcome, lady and gentlemen. Let's the show begin.
All right. Welcome. And before we get into the depth of the show,
Yes.
Of course, we have to show a disclaimer.
Yes.
So let me read for you. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, nor are we your financial advisors. The topics discussed on this show are purely for educational considerations and are not meant to be misconstrued as financial nor investment advice. We are just sharing, we are talking, and we hope you'll take time to join the conversation. Send a thought, send a word. From wherever you are, we'll be happy to hear from you. Become a part of our program. Join us and share with us. But I leave this now and I turn to my husband as I say, welcome, Cliff. I know he has something, this has a cute opening to give us.
Well, before we get into any cute openings, as I say, I know much about that part. I want to say a shout out to our other hosts who will not mute us tonight.
Yeah.
Katie Stallboy.
Yes.
Yeah, look to under the weather. Listen, I know you're a fighter, so I know this under the weather ain't gonna be for long. All right?
Yeah.
Get better soon, brother. And join us again. We're missing you already. All right?
Speedy recovery, brother. Speedy recovery.
All right. So, Brother Noel spoke about being, you know, the technology, and this is what we are about every week. Well, tonight's program, guys, going to be a bit different. We're getting real and in your face tonight, more so on a personal basis. So I guess I'm going to kind of open up some of myself to you guys here, and I hope you all understand. And maybe by the fourth segment, we'll be open by the fourth segment coming down to the end. We'll be able to lock it in as to how our personal experiences tied in to this ecosystem of ours that we serve, right? I just want to remind persons, first of all, that in life, you are going to be two kinds of persons. You have those who are going to help you. You might find a very few in between, but they're there. They're going to help you. And you're going to have those many of these who eager to tell you can't do it, they're going to try to tear you down, bring you down. You know those kinds of people. We seem to have so many of them around. You know what? In the end, you will thank them both. All right? You will thank them both. And I'm hoping that after you see our tonight's program, the conversation, your conversation, is going to change after tonight from, boy, you see how the price of flour rising? And what will happen with us? Them doing the thing outside here, we know we had to live, right? However, we are not going to be just lying down and throwing our hands up in the air and saying, listen, well, wherever you carry me, carry me. No, 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 no. We are proactive people. We are deciders and shapers of our fate. You understand? And we are going to steer our ship where we want it to go. Right? This is the kind of people that we're hoping that you will turn around if you're not already there. All right? We're looking for people aboard this vessel, a vessel where you're carrying you to your dreams.
You know,
right?
I want to add something to what you said because it's very important. You said we need two
kinds of persons.
Two kinds of persons in life. Right?
Yes.
And those who will lift you up and those who will put you down. But you know, sometimes you're the person putting yourself down.
Oh gosh.
You know, sometimes the greatest battles against yourself and how you think and how you see life.
Well, you know
Yeah.
the Chinese and them. The Chinese and them have an age-old philosophy called yin and yang, right? And people on our Western side tend to feel that, most persons I think tend to misconstrue it because what happened, yin and yang is really masculine and feminine. It's two genders. It's each of them form the whole, and persons must understand not that one is opposite and one is good and one is bad, one is strong, one is weak. No. You see, unless you know what is weakness, you can't know what is strength. Unless you know what is, those of you who find you're good looking and you're nice and all kind of thing, you could only say that because you have seen somebody or something which you feel when you compare yourself is ugly. Right? So, but however, in that which we condemn as ugliness, you know something, there's beauty to be found. So yin and yang reveals all of these things. But again, as Donna was saying, we have two warring entities within us, always trying to give a good and evil, pulling and that kind of thing. So again, it's not that, whilst we say good and evil, is that we have two components in us, forcing us, and we have to decide where we lean to. All right?
And that brings us to the name of our program. And the name of our program this evening is Failing versus Failure. Have you ever thought about that? Failing versus failure.
But wait, failure and failing is not the same thing? Or we are saying failing versus, so failing is different to failure then? That is what this title is saying.
That is exactly what it's saying. And as we open with the first video, you're going to start to think about failing versus failure. So let's have that first video and then we will talk.
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. a high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca Recording Studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
Definitely will not be years. Just imagine Michael Jordan had stayed in his room and said, "Look, you see me, I'm not going back." And no problem. She said, "Oh boy, you hear what I say? I shouldn't try television. Let me just go in our office and work." Just think for one moment, if these people had just turned away from what was their purpose, what was their dream. I mean, sometimes I sit down and I say, Lord, so many things I remembered. I was supposed to go abroad to study. I was in the field and I always wanted to teach, and I was going abroad to study. And my sister was abroad studying and things got a little tough home. And I said, look, I can't put that pressure on mommy, and then we'll take care of my sister first. And by the time she came back, I was working. I didn't want to leave the job. But you know something? God said, you had to continue. You can't give up on it. And I, years later, went back and applied again. And this time, every door just opened and I became a teacher, an educator, which I love, which was my passion, which was my ministry. You see, failing versus failure, I always tell my students, you only fail when you give up. That is when you fail. And you see what they said at the end of the video, if you never try anything new, you have nothing to fail because you keep doing the same thing. As you often say, if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that's a recipe for madness.
Well, I promise you guys out there that we'll be getting out personal this evening, you understand? So, I listened to that video again. This must be about the 10th time I listened to that video already. And each time, it sounds so as fresh as the first time to me. You know why? Because these persons, all of them have at least 2 things in common. One, each person has or had been hugely successful in their field. Almost everybody knows each person's name there. But you know what's the next characteristic that is common with each of these persons? Each of them failed their way to success. They failed. Each person received a dramatic challenge that could have made them say, hey, let me stop right here, because the experts on them probably know better than I do. Understand what I'm saying, guys? You want something. Somebody or some people, because normally they don't come in ones, they come in groups.
True.
And they tell you, listen, hey, you can't do that. Yeah. You can't do it. And they do it with best intentions. Best intentions. And as a result of it, you cave in, you listen to it, most of us do, and that's it. You understand? So, those are the 2 common qualities. Now, I want to ask you, the listeners out there, if you were in these people who we just highlighted in the video, if you were in their situation, you think you'll have gone through to the end? A lot of you know Lionel Messi. That was the footballer they talk about, right? How many of you are aware of the challenges he had gone through? Or Most of you, if you don't like Lionel Messi, you prefer Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you know Cristiano Ronaldo grew up in abject poverty? His mother had to work as a maid, work into the nights just to put food on the table. You could imagine where you feel is just talent alone carry him through there. None of these persons in that video, just talent alone, carried them to the end. They had to dig deep, suck it up, forget what people say, like water and ducks back, people comments had to be, right? You know, there was a saying long time when we was growing up, we used to hear, you know, like when a child your age tell you something and you used to turn around and tell them, sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words have no meaning. Very often we used to just say that to feel good, eh? But it wasn't really so. Because we used to go home and think about it. Well, guess what? Guess what? You hear what Donna say? It hurts. But guess what? It's supposed to hurt you to move you forward. Most of us, it hurts us and kept us down. I know that. I was a byproduct of that.
And what about Steve Harvey? People know Steve Harvey, very popular. Steve Harvey teacher embarrassed him, telling him he wanted to be on TV. And she made him feel like a saint. If you know anything less than a saint, he felt like that. He ended up with a lifestyle that you have to wonder how Steve Harvey rolls on.
All right. Donna just give a little situation about what she had to overcome. Remember, she just spoke about her sister and what she had to do, and Donna had to give up on her dream of moving forward. And she decided to get into a field, and she used that determination in that field to move forward. Maybe I could share a little experience of mine, you know, or I don't know if Brother Noel want to do. What I want to ask is, Brother Noel, I think we were discussing it before we came on, you know, has there been a situation where you were shut down from where you wanted to go? You understand? Where you wanted to strive out, or were you shut down? And has there been a situation, even despite people telling you, no, it can't happen, you move ahead and you succeeded? Right? It could be in any aspect of your life. Right? So you're putting you on the spot because some people don't like to talk the personal business. I will talk my personal business after.
It's okay with me. I wouldn't say I was shut down, you know, by anyone really. You know, of course, you have the general negativity around you. You have people saying you may not succeed in something, or you may not have the motivation to do certain things. You have your aspirations and your dreams, but you may lack the motivation. You may lack the tutorship, the encouragement. My parents, my father particularly, didn't really steer me in a certain direction. My first love, Donna Cliff, was electronics, right? When I got toys, you know, when we were little boys and so on, I will take these toys apart to understand the mechanics of it, how it works, try to put it back together. So I'll make little motor, you know, like fans, or like a motor to put on a boat, you know, or make like a radio, you know, things like that. So I love electronics, and I met a teacher who is still alive, who taught me electronics in school. That was my first love. And then I steered into theology. That was my second love. And then I end up in health, you know. But with me personally, I have this passion about life, this insatiable appetite to know. I started studying all kinds of stuff, you know, on my own, self-taught, learning and searching, not necessary from academia, right? And the whole idea of success has been contrast to failing or failure have to do with not so much academic knowledge and being schooled in a university or college or some institution, but more the realization of your dreams, you know, your visions, your goals, and having a determination to achieve it, to be disciplined, despite the obstacles. Because, I mean, we have success stories from all walks of life, okay? People have been bogged down, they have been insulted, put down, and so on, but they rise up. So the issue, the message that we are trying to send today, tonight, is never stay down. Get up. You may fall, but get up. You know, the scripture says a righteous man fall it 7 times. So not because you fall mean you have to stay there. Get up and move again. You know, zero in, focus on your dreams, focus on your ambition, and press forward. Keep being determined. You know, failure is, as it were, a stepping stone to success. And the only time you will fail is really if you prepare not to succeed. And if it is, you know, you lack the discipline, you lack the fortitude, the courage to go on. So this is what we have to harness within ourselves. God has given to each one of us talents and skills, and we can harness these talents and skills as assets, mental assets, that could achieve things, either products or services. We can become innovative. And this is so all the successful people who open Starbucks or KFC or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or whoever, you know, they're on both sides, right? People who are evil, people who are good. But we have to choose the right path, and we have to allow God to work within us, because to me, one of the components in succeeding is not just our own effort, our own ingenuity, but it has a lot to do also with the guidance of God, what I call divine providence. You know, you may lose a loved one, you may have been in an accident, and those events that you actually experience literally is what culture you or shape you or motivate you to go into a particular direction to become successful. So we have to acknowledge the presence of God in our lives. We have to pray. We have to have determination, fortitude, courage. One of the things we must never do is never quit. You fail when you quit. You fail when you give up. You fail when you're dead.
That's right.
You know, if you're dead, you can't do nothing. But while there's life, you have the opportunity to try and try and try again at something you love. You also have the encouragement of people. Not everybody will encourage you, but there are some people who will support you. There are some people who will give you ideas. When you meet with them and you talk, they give you ideas. There are some people who will lend to you, you know. They invest in you, so to speak, and they may even help you financially. So it's many factors, right? And the whole idea is just not to quit, not to give up, and open your mind to education, open your mind to experiencing new things, you know, new ideas, you know, new thoughts. That's how I see it, you know.
All right.
Well said, well
all right.
said.
Thanks, brother Noel. In fact, all this time I know you, I never knew you had a love for electronics.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
that kind of thing. Thanks for sharing that. All right.
What I admire about him more, he keeps moving, he keeps moving.
So I will share something about me, a little personal, guys. And after we share it, we can go into our break, all right? Because I know we overdue with our break.
Yeah.
Something that I was aspiring toward and I didn't continue with it. When I was growing up and as a teen, by the way, there's somebody named Raymond Liuku. I don't know if I pronounced the name correctly. I want to thank you for your greeting. I don't know which country. Right. I don't know which country you're from. I want to thank you for that. Right. Thank you for tuning in to us. Raymond Liuku.
May I say something just before you go on? When Brother Noel talked about electronics and how we use disassemble things, break it up and break it up.
Remind your granddaughter?
Yeah, my granddaughter, she just take off arms and doors and head.
Yeah.
So maybe she learning how to build doors. I love it. She learning how to build toys. She might have a toy store, toy factory.
All right. So I remember when I was growing up into my teenage years, I was skinny. She hated my wife, real skinny. They used to call me bones. I couldn't handle it, boy. I couldn't handle it at all. I was, you know, I used to get harassed by the girls' school, so I used to make the whole wrongs to avoid them. I used to have to pass straight there to go home, you know, straight to go to my school, straight. But to avoid them comments, I go making the whole wrongs because they said, look, bones passing. You know, I couldn't take the talk. So when I reached about 14 going on 15, so I decided I'm going to start to lift weights. And I met this guy, but it wasn't bodybuilding, it was Olympic weightlifting. That's where they do something called snatch and clean and jerk. So going in now when I started to do it. That is the same time when they was opening the Gene Peer complex. That is the same time when they was opening that. Oh God, I give away my age by doing that. Anyhow, so they asked me now to be one of the persons to represent the association, the weightlifting association, because there was opening there, and that way you get free access, you get access to areas where the public couldn't get because you're representing a particular sporting discipline. So we had on a particular jersey, but remember I tell you, I now started to lift weights. The coach saw some promise in me, and he said, listen, you go do good, don't worry about your size and thing, you see nothing. So a man come to me and he asked me, he said, what sport you in? I say, weightlifting. So he watch me. He said, what kind of weights you lift up? Mosquito weights or yeah, no. That break me down so much. Boy.
Oh my gosh.
I end up training still. I'm still training. I'm going into the first competition. I was in the papers, to go in the competition thing. Never tell my father nothing. Because he and I we weren't close. See my name in the papers and he said, nah, but I can't believe this. I never know this boy in any sport. And he named in papers. So all of a sudden, the night when I go out to lift weights, there I see him in the audience. So I'll do stupidness. Boy, I come last in the competition.
Oh my.
So the night now, when I reach back home, he said, listen, I want to talk to you. So I thought he come to console me and tell me, don't give up, try again, this, that, the other. Now, at the time I held it against him for years, but I just want to say this is what he believed. I understand that now. You understand? He come and he watch me. He said, let me tell you something. I am Indian. It never had an Indian strong weightlifter in Trinidad and Tobago. Who you fooling? Understand? Who you fooling? Why you looking to fool yourself? Right? Don't mama guy yourself and do that. Well, that messed me up, you understand? Anyhow, I continued the weightlifting, but I ended up going into competitions and was going ahead, wasn't doing badly and thing, but that was in the back of my mind. So that is one thing that kept me down. One thing that I went against people's comments though is that when time to pick a wife, you know how many persons say that, I mean, don't get the better end of the deal. We know that thing. No. If you all know me from how I was, boy, Donna had to endure. She had to endure. But the thing is that I saw something, a number of persons say, Cliff, that thing go work out. All you like oil and water. It ain't go happen. You understand? Now you can imagine if I listened to them. I just saw what I wanted to do, and I saw when I listened to people how I caved in, and I didn't meet my goal. So I want to tell people that, listen, you get both sides of the argument, you have to pick. You understand? Pick which one you're going with and run with it. You understand? Very often, that's the choice you have to make. So guys, break time. We talk a lot for this segment. Time to catch your breath. Take a break.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments,
as we create opportunities of hope and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know? What am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your
full 100.
Here we go again.
All right, guys. So we're back here. No, I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I have spent some time by myself, right? And you know, in your quiet moments, you do some pondering. And I often reflect on times in my life, as I told you all just now, when the me with Donna met is certainly not the me that she has now, right? The thing is that I often wonder why so many of us, unlike the persons who we just showed in the video, why we cave in to people's criticisms, people's condemnation, people pull down of us. Why we not resilient in most times to be able to rise above those things? Why I say so? As a baby, as a toddler, notice what happens when a child now learning to creep and then they start to walk. What has happened when they now start to walk? They fall down, not so?
Yeah.
They fall down. What do we as parents and adults around the child do when the child falls? What is the first thing we do?
You have to grab them to pick them up, to put them to stand up.
Right, and what do we do after?
Put them back down to walk again or whatever they will do.
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't tell them, hey, you can't do that, you know. Now is not your time. Wait the next couple of months and see if your muscle's stronger now. We don't do that. We encourage the child to try again. Not so?
Of course. And that lays a foundation, because that child starts to develop certain characteristics towards that. Hey, when I fall down, when I'm trying to walk, get back up and go again, because I have mommy and daddy telling me that and support.
Right. So we appreciate, Brother Noel, you could jump in anytime you want, you know. So we appreciate that encouragement around us spurs us to have confidence in ourselves and belief. Just because others believe in you, you tend to start to believe in yourself, correct?
That's right. That's a good thing.
Right.
Yes.
Where did that go wrong then? How come we start to lose that self-belief in ourselves that we would have had in coming through our toddler years?
Let me take you back to what you said at the beginning. You said there are two persons. One will give you and one will take away. As you grow, you are going to interact with a whole set of people in school, around your neighborhood, everybody. And some will call you names and add value to your life. Some will call you names and take away value from your life. Because, and now, this is where you, the person, determine or decide what I'm going to use. What, okay, for example, in growing up, I was a prefect right through in my secondary school, right? And of course, I was a firm prefect. I was prepared to be a teacher, so I had to be firm, right? Right? But of course, the children in the class didn't like that. Some of them didn't like that, and they started to call me names. Now, let me say this. If I did not, don't think it didn't hurt, you know. It hurt some of the things I remember, and then I say, you know what, I did what was right. But I have a kind of resilience that has made me bounce back. My husband is laughing at me when I watching a show. The show's stupid, but I want to see it until the end. And he said, but why you want to see it until the end? Because I say, I believe if I start something, I must find out how it finished. That's me. But the thing about it, don't think I didn't have pains in my life and people hurting me. But I found a way by the grace of God to bounce back and keep walking forward. But it wasn't always
Right.
easy.
Well, I'm glad you talk about the education in school, because I believe, and this is where I said persons may disagree with me, and even you and all, because of your background as a teacher. I believe that in the education system that we have now, when you enter the education system, it is very self-defeating in a number of areas. Oh, you hear what I say?
Yeah,
it is very self-defeating in a number of areas. Why do I say that? Because you have to answer questions correctly according to the answers that have been given before your time. So you have to find a way. 2 times 2 is 4. So we know that is the answer from before. So you have to know that. The children who don't know it, they are stigmatized. Or when they go into SCA to do SCA, you have prestige schools or the lower schools to separate them. And society already have in their mind that you pass a prestige school, it means that you ain't bright enough. Look, Don and I quarreling yesterday because our grand learn a word. She has to learn to spell what is archipelago? Only remember that word archipelago. And she, of course, gets in trouble to spell it and try to memorize it. And I am telling Donna, you see the same foolishness. You see the same foolishness I'm talking about? When I had to learn to fight up to spell that word, you know, when I left primary school, I never had to use that word again. Never. So why is there an emphasis to learn to spell it and understand the meaning of that? Why? You ain't gonna meet it again in life. I didn't.
But I told them sometimes you might.
I don't. All I'm saying is that the system is too backdated and stressing on too many things. It's like when you're going to do your driving test. Up to this day, you had to learn hand signals. So when you put to make a right turn, you have to put out your hand and turn it like that. Guys, all cars come with air conditioner now. How many persons you know sticking out? When last you see a man? When last you see a man after they get a driver's permit sticking out their hand and doing so? No, because if he only do that, they will call him clock after. Long and short hand. It's stupid. You're emphasizing on stupidness, and I am saying that the education system has been stressing on things that is no longer appropriate, and it is causing a number of children who are not gifted in that area or talented in that area to feel less than. Also, additionally, girls mature before boys. So, academically, most of them will be ahead of the boys. You know, when they go in and you get these serious results and you say, yeah, well, you know, more girls pass than have a higher percentage than boys. And people say, oh gosh, how that? Of course it must be so. The girls mature earlier. It's in nothing, it's in no maths in that. So I'm saying that the education system that we enter leaves us wanting and leaves us as us feeling that we are less than, inferior, we're not good enough, but we should be better than we are, all those kinds of things.
And I mean to say, I have to add a little part to this because I believe it's not meeting the needs of all. Abroad, they teach you according to your your ability. For example, if you're creative, they teach you from a creative point. If you're mathematical, logical, they teach you from that point. If there are certain things that children come to you with and they are missed out because if a child is creative, you can give them work from that aspect. If a child is mathematical and those things, you give them work from that. Howard Gardner had said that you learn different ways, and we don't do that here. Everybody is channeled, whoops, the same way going down the road. And that creates a lot of lack for some children, and that could make you feel less than.
Brother Noel, you have anything to add to it? Because I still have an next point to make. I'm moving on from education system just now.
Yes. What I was saying, right? Hindrances to achieving success, to realizing your dreams, your ambition, is multifaceted. It's not just one thing, and there are some components that are left out in the educational system, right? One of them, to me, is very serious, is that part of morality, that part of religion.
Yes.
Families' upbringing is so important as far as education is concerned. It is so important as far as whether a person is successful in life, realizing their dreams and ambition. So, the scripture says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he would not depart. I don't see failure there. So if we have God-caring parents instructing their children from young, the window for growth, for innovation, for development and success is really from the womb to about 7 years. This is documented.
Mm-hmm.
Children learn faster, music and artistic things and so on. So families have to create that environment even while the child is in the womb. The parents should be culturing themselves, eating properly. That's another component, because it is scientifically shown today that if the body, if the brain is deficient of certain important minerals like zinc and so on, right, you end up, having learning disabilities, problems. It is sad to see someone who, for circumstances beyond their control as an individual, and they are having problems to learn. Take for instance even the whole issue of vaccination, what it's doing to the ability to learn. This is documented. Children getting autism, attention deficit disorder, and the likes, right? So health is one thing that we have to look at. We, as a nation, we should be getting the fresh fruits and vegetables, the pure water, the ground provisions, all the dark green leafy vegetables. When that woman conceived, that child is healthy. The environment where you grow up have a lot to do with your realization of your goals, your dreams. Because if you're in a society or in a village where that village is, let's say, classified like how Lavantil or John or Silas is considered, there's a stereotyping and a particular way they view you. In crisis day, they will say, could any good thing come out of Nazareth? Because how they look at Nazareth as a kind of corrupt, downtrodden kind of place. So while all of that exists, we have to have, as guardians, as parents, instruct our children in such a way that we inspire hope, we inspire courage, we inspire motivation and discipline. That is very important to have a successful life. Yeah.
True. And yeah, as I say, I do some pondering, moving on from the education system, because I want to say much more now, because the program director is a lecturer. So I want to, I don't know, I get some licks from her already when we finish. So, all right. And all you know, but my wife giving me some elbow music here, he say, you know, we always going to say them kind of thing,
Not
you know.
true.
Right?
Not
but
true.
I telling you, a number of our problems come from, you see this Hollywood scene where we're watching television and we're watching the actors and them, and we feel that what they set as a standard for beauty and for where they see on the for instance, I watching this, you only remember the show, these are Baywatch, right? And you see Baywatch and you watch them, all the women and even the girls, them fellas, the girls are watching fellas and everybody looking almost perfect bodies. You know, I listened to a documentary, the kind of things those people had to go through. People who watch models, right, and feel that, oh boy, I want to be slim like them. The kind of things, the amount of starvation they had to go through, the amount of injections they take in, you understand? Cosmetic surgery. Sometimes it goes beyond just cosmetic. And people in realize there's a price and a sacrifice to pay for that illusion. It is an illusion. And we now feel that if we don't attain those things, that we fall short. We are a failure. When you do the fashions that listen, especially we have it down here, but boy, abroad, because I've been out there for a short while. Oh God, the peer pressure when how fashions move through. If you can't keep up with the Joneses, they'll let you know about it. And we feel automatically once we can't keep up with the Joneses, we are a failure. All I'm saying is, guys, when I look around in society, we have decided to hitch our wagon to a group of persons who we feel have the answers and who set the bar at a height which we try to get, and it's only an illusion. And we have to understand that, right? When we look at the movies and so on, it's just an illusion, because when you hear about the people's real lives off the camera, boy, you know, why you feel they be trying to, they coming out in public wearing darkers, changing up their look. Why? They like they're craving for that privacy. All the time they want the publicity. Now that they get it, they're craving for privacy again. They can't even go to the mall without people hitting on them and that kind of thing. When you get to understand how they are, you're realizing that, hey, they're just like you and me otherwise, you know. But they decided to strive for this illusion. Now that they realize what it is, they say, yes, they like what it's offering, but they can't stay there. And we have to understand that, hey, we just do our part, despite if we don't look good doing it at the time, that is not the point. We're moving ahead. All right? I want to mention that here, because at the end of it, while I'm talking all these things, we must point back to what has brought us here in this program, this one ecosystem that we stand for. This is not an easy path that we have taken. I've said over and over, and everybody who is involved in this understands that our kind of cryptocurrency is different to almost every other of the almost 10,000 cryptocurrencies that are out there now. Why? Recently, the grandfather of cryptocurrency, grandfather because he's the oldest of them, Bitcoin, took a beating. It fell to a value of just over $17,000 recently. It was last year. It was at a high of 60,000. Or you understand what I'm saying? It fell from 60 to just over 17 recently. So did so many other cryptocurrencies, not ours. We carry a stable value because our community has accepted when we are trading with this cryptocurrency. You know, this is what I'm saying, trading, not exchanging for money. When we are trading our cryptocurrency for goods and services, because we understand that we are the cryptocurrency. We are the holders, we are the bearers, we are the users, we are the educated miners, we are the ones who carry the value of the cryptocurrency, and our community has it at a stable price. right? And we asking persons to just come and understand what we are about and why we still stable. Despite all the tremors in the cryptocurrency arena, we still stand. You understand? So that is why you see, tonight we spoke about failing versus failure, because persons who are in this part would have heard a number of criticisms. Don't get involved in that, boy. But guess what? We're going on for 8 years now. We're 8 years old. We're 8 years old, despite all the criticisms. So there must be a handful of persons at least who are holding this vision. It's more than a handful, but I just using that term. You know why? Because we are a global entity. And a handful of a global entity is more than 3 million accounts. We have more than 3 million accounts. So I'm telling you guys one time. All right? Why you don't come on board? Don't listen to the naysayers and them who telling you, listen, they want to exchange. How come this, that, what's the stupid talk and thing? Forget that. Understand, we have gone against the grain. We have been swimming upstream when we had to, because we understand what the vision is about. We have not listened to the naysayers and the critics. Okay? So I needed to point out why we took this approach tonight, so persons could understand that our one ecosystem stands up, right? And we are going to continue along this path. So we're asking persons to come on board and understand what we're about. Right?
I like this part where we always put up Beyond 2021 as a TV show that takes us into the future of emerging technologies, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and financial technology. The face of money is changing. Don't be left behind. Innovate, inspire, educate, and position yourself to prosper. We are here to hopefully cause you to open your mind and make a different decision. Maybe make a change, maybe make a step in another direction that will lead to what is trending, what is happening to do. And join us next week, because we're not finished with this topic. We still have other things to share. But failing versus failure, because they may be failing, but they are not failing.
I know Brother Noel wants to interject and say something. And if we have time after, I'll just add a little piece and we'll close off the program with that, because we have to complete this next week.
Yes, talking about the one ecosystem, we are not a project that is without challenges. Obviously, all companies will face challenges. So we have had the naysayers, we have had those who attack us on the outside and the inside, social media, electronic media, and even within the community, you have some members who may not have been honorable, or who may not have followed, ethical standards and so on. But notwithstanding these things, the one ecosystem or company is still moving forward. We're getting better, we're getting stronger, and we are facing all the odds. And we believe that our ecosystem is one that is second to none. We would first in education, we would be first in KYC standards, encrypted on the blockchain. We would be first to have anti-money laundering, anti-financing of terrorism. And so despite our challenges, we are still focused and we're still moving forward. And we offer a type of education that will encourage your mind, your thinking to be broadened. You will learn. So this is an option for you. It's not everybody will get involved in it, but it's an option for you, and we are encouraging you to take a look at what we have been seeing for these programs, these episodes that we've been having on Beyond 2021. So we invite you to call us, get involved with our educational packages, and position yourself so that you can acquire the one cryptocurrency and trade it, use it on the deal shaker, experience what it is like, because the face of money is changing. It's happening all around the world. It's not going to turn back. You might as well position yourself with a company that has high standards and that is actually being successful. Yes?
Yeah. So I want to ask our listeners out there tonight I hope they appreciated that we try to show some sides of our personal lives. You know, it may not have been easy. It certainly wasn't easy for me, right, to say so many things that was hurtful for me in the past. But why I did it is because I want persons to understand that I personally don't have anything to hide when I come out here, right? Some persons would know me because they meet me and say, you know, Cliff, I remember when you was like so I let them know, of course, you understand? However, would you continue to measure a man against how you knew him to be, or would you measure a man against where he aspires and what do you see him going towards? You understand? Would you measure a company on what people say about it, or would you measure a company based on the trail that it is looking to set, the path that it is looking to lead? And I mean, this is what I'm asking you guys. You have been listening to us tonight to understand that, listen, despite whatever person say about you, they said it about us, and we not listening to them. All right? We don't care. We are moving forward. So tonight, guys, we are going to say thank you. It has been awesome having you on tonight, right? We look forward to having you next week, right? And we are going on. No more failures in this listenership. Only successes. Have a great night, guys. Brother Noel, the rest of the crew, good night. Listeners, have a good one.
Yes.
Take care.
Good night, everyone.
One ecosystem, you know them.
Next week.
We not frightened of nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of leg chasing. Aye.